Good evening, Jessica Van Vonderen with ABC News. The United States has thrown down the gauntlet to China in the South Pacific. Today, Vice President Mike Pence announced that America will join with Australia and Papua New Guinea to redevelop a strategically vital naval base on Manus Island. It's a step which could draw the US Navy deeper into the South Pacific and is likely to infuriate Beijing. Pacific Affairs reporter Stephen Jedgetts reports from Port Moresby.
Thank you very much.
A deep alliance puts down new roots.
America has no better friend than Australia.
The Lombrum Naval Base on Manus Island hosted tens of thousands of troops in World War II and commands a vital strategic position. And now the US wants a toehold there.
It's my privilege to announce that the United States will partner with Papua New Guinea and Australia on their joint initiative at Lombrum Naval Base on Manus Island.
Australia and Papua New Guinea announced a joint upgrade of the dilapidated base last month, but now the world's military superpower is joining in, dramatically lifting the stakes.
The Australian government is stepping up in the Pacific, and we're stepping up with important partners.
It really pushes America far further south into the Pacific than we've seen them come in decades. We have a small complement of rotational Marines in Darwin, but pairing that with this naval base in Manus Island really pulls them into our region.
The target is clear. The US and Australia are anxious about China's rapid military rise in Asia. And this announcement is about strategic denial as much as renewed cooperation.
China would see this as an affront to their strategic ambitions in the Pacific region. They are clearly looking to set up some form of military presence somewhere in the Pacific, and this just cuts them off from doing that in Manus Island.
While the strategic competition between the US and China is intensifying, there's also an ideological battle at play. The US Vice President launched a fierce assault on China during his speech, accusing it of coercing smaller nations and loading them up with unsustainable debt.
Do not accept foreign debt that could compromise your sovereignty. Protect your interests, preserve your independence, and just like America, always put your country first. Know that the United States offers a better option.
The Chinese leader insists everyone can be a winner and says the US can't dictate to small states in the region.
No one has the right or the power to stop people in developing countries from pursuing a better life.
Scott Morrison says Australia doesn't need to choose between its ally and its largest trading partner.
What's our most important allegiance?
They're both important. Thank you very much.
This
way we're going that way, great.
But today, our decision is clear. Stephen Jedgetts, ABC News, Port Moresby.
Stephen Jedgetts joins us now from Port Moresby. Stephen, how significant is it that the announcement of the Manus partnership was made there at APEC?
Well, Jess, it was a very deliberate decision by Mike Pence to make this announcement just a day before regional leaders gather for the APEC meeting. The symbolism in these meetings is what matters, and the message from Mike Pence was very, very clear. The US is going to confront China more directly in the Indo-Pacific to push back against its behaviour, and it will also try and reassert regional leadership throughout the region. And it's not just military matters here, there are big economic issues here as well. Today, Australia, Japan and the US announced they'd pour lots of money, potentially more than $1 billion, into an infrastructure fund for the region. And that is a direct attempt to push back against Beijing's Belt and Road initiative.
And how will all this frame the last day of the forum?
Well, economic issues are meant to dominate APEC, and they typically do, but this time they've been swept under the carpet somewhat by the geopolitical tensions that are rippling through Port Moresby at the moment. Now, China hasn't responded yet to Australia and the announcement from Australia and the US, but they're likely to be hostile. After all, China has been saying that its rise is peaceful and that it cannot be stopped. We've made a deliberate attempt to not only deny them a strategic toehold north of Australia, we're also saying to Beijing very clearly that we don't believe their protestations. And that is likely to stoke tension here in Port Moresby when leaders gather.
Stephen Jedgetts, thank you.